everybody, welcome to another episode of Business and Brews Atlanta. We're at Gusto on Punch, and I'm here with Nate Hybl, the founder and CEO. Excited to do this. Let's get started.
I started chasing this idea that I couldn't get out of my head that there ought to be better fast food. I was really toward the bottom of the barrel of my life, and there's a lot of detail there. I'll spare you, but I was directionless, and I really didn't feel like I had a whole lot to lose. So I just started in a very audacious way chasing this ridiculous idea, because I knew nothing about restaurants. I knew nothing about marketing, real estate, finance, accounting, and most severely, I knew very little about food. But I fell in love with garlic and ginger and toasted cumin seeds and the stories behind these ingredients. And it took me 4 years, and out popped Gusto. One of these days I may make a cartoon out of it, like me bouncing around in a white minivan. I had a big Bernese Mountain Dog named Buckley, pots and pans, and a big green egg. And I was driving around literally, like hat in hand, and I raised $600,000 the first go around because I didn't have anything. I raised $600,000 to open Gusto #1 on Peachtree across the street from Piedmont Hospital. And the first 6 months when we did open were the hardest 6 months of my life, trying to prove a new idea, not just a new brand, but like our model was unique. And I slept in said minivan in that parking lot because I just was working 100 hours a week. And that was a real, on one hand, darkish time, right. But I also look back on it romantically because it was just the juice of originality, and then it worked, and we were having success and haven't looked back. We feel like we're a young brand in Atlanta with a lot of momentum, and we're proud to represent this city and represent something that is not only trying to make a difference with the food we put in our bodies, but the human beings that work in the restaurant business.
What are some of the things that you learned growing up, playing ball, getting into all the way to the professional level? The things you learned about discipline or leadership or just work ethic that you've implemented and plugged in here?
I can't emphasize toughness, especially 2 years weathering a pandemic.
Right.
God help us. The toughness mentally and physically and emotionally to push through and look on the bright side of things and try to keep it positive and to breathe, something that simple and that silly. But, I learned how to lead people, but I was never writing the checks, right. So being a quarterback's not the same as being the head coach or being the president of the university or the athletic director. And I'm all those things right now. So I have learned a lot of hard lessons, in the trenches the last 7 years. But I think I and hopefully this brand are the better for it. And we are just eyes wide open, staring at a bright future.
So what is it you're most excited about with Gusto this year?
So we are leaning into what I would call the actual idea of Gusto. 7, 8 years later, we're finally realizing maybe Gusto 2.0, 3.0, and that is Gusto with a drive-through. Our last 3 locations have drive-throughs, and our next 20 will as well. So we're going all in toward a new mission statement, which is disrupting fast food. And that's different than just being another salad chain, another grain bowl chain. It's fun to kind of chase the vapor trails of best in the business, like a Chick-fil-A, on the wonderful things that they do operationally and from a hospitality standpoint. Our product is different, I mean, I've never heard of a healthy fast food concept. I've never heard of a healthy fast food brand. So there's a reason why, and it's because of customization takes too long, and high quality usually costs too much. We think we have a model that can deliver speed and high quality, and that intersection is a unique value proposition that we think the next couple generations are craving. So not easy, but we are going to kind of wave that flag and try to represent something pretty awesome coming out of Atlanta.
That's very cool. I love it, man. That's I love it. I mean, that's innovation in this space, right? And it's looking at your customers, understanding their needs, understanding people that aren't your customers, and how you can reach them, and doing something that's different and disruptive. And I love it. I think it's awesome.
Thank you.
You got any watering holes, breweries, places you typically like to go to down around this way?
I'd give a shout out to 3 Taverns, and if folks have never been to Decatur, we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 breweries and a bustling new scene of just kind of roaming around and getting slightly day drunk and touching on some of the local brews. So support your local breweries wherever you are, but in particular, come hang out in Decatur.
Thanks everybody for joining us for another episode of Business and Brews Atlanta. Thanks to Nate Hybl, Gusto, and Potts hosting us. If you're around Atlanta, go check out one of their 10 locations. This place is awesome. I do every time I'm here. Thanks. See you next time.